Why do I need to learn to sell? I'm still in school.
Why did you stop in the first place? I can almost guarantee that as you learned to speak and found things you enjoyed, food, toys, entertainment, love, that you engaged your basic instincts and were selling. You tried different angles, changing your tactics, even whining at times, repeatedly going for the win, offering benefits to your parents, and objective handling without even knowing that you were selling. You were often told no, maybe to the point of being reprimanded or even punished to the point that you outgrew and became disillusioned of trying. I say outgrew, but that is unfortunate because it stunted your passion for going through the pain of achieving what you want. Granted, the tactics you employed are what you needed to outgrow: whining, being obnoxious, and putting your selfishness first, but giving up your basic instincts at the word no was an unfortunate side effect. Selling happens in the family, with friends, with places where you shop and receive services, most definitely in the workplace, even if you are not in a sales position. Selling your ideas, your work, your authority, your team, your vision, happens in just about every position. Politicians are selling, CEOs of major corporations are selling, entrepreneurs are selling, engineers even sell, influencers, actors, teachers, doctors, lawyers, restaurant servers and bartenders, even students are selling. But those quickest to move up the ranks of a company are those that know how to sell. Most CEOs, chairmen of boards, and famous people came up through the sales department. It is not uncommon for a company's top salesperson to make more than its CEO. Want to start a business, a club, a side hustle to make money? You better learn to sell.
There are 3 milestones that must happen to get to a path of success. Even if not in a sales career, these milestones to success remain constant and the pain of going through them remains. If you want to become popular in school, class president, even valedictorian, you must learn these milestones. If you want to go to college, these are the steps to getting there. Yes, even learning, reading, and failure itself are in the mix, but until you get in front of people, you speak comfortably with them, and you learn the right things to do and say, you will not become successful. Courage to get in front of people, learning good grammar and vocabulary through studying and reading in order to speak comfortably, and having enough knowledge about your subject matter or ideas, in order to be influential, is what you already learn and attempt to achieve in school. But here is the honest truth, and also the biggest lie about sales, is that folks that do it well are born that way. No, nobody is born with salesmanship or leadership. It is learned, practiced, and attempted, even with failure, over and over again. When I say over and over again, I'm not just talking about the last part of the 3 steps. It is a cycle containing all 3 steps. You never stop learning, you never stop practicing, and you never stop failing. The key to this is to keep doing it with the same level of passion as the first. One thing that professional athletes do very well is focus on making the goal, the home run, the score, without focusing on who is in the audience, what they do or say, what the press says. The fundamentals include failure. People asked Thomas Edison about inventing the light bulb, "How did you feel when you failed more than 1,000 times?" His response, "I did not fail 1,000 times, I learned 1,000 ways that it wouldn't work." See the change in mindset. Thomas Edison saw every failure as part of the path to success. You have to learn to love the word no. If you ask for something 20 times, not necessarily to the same person, and you get a single yes and 19 no's, you need to count the no as part of your success, your salary, your tips, or whatever your definition is of success. You cannot have one without the other. And you have to embrace it as part of the game of getting to a yes. It needs to become as comfortable as walking away with a win. Let me teach you a new word. That word is close. Closing means finishing the job of serving your customer with them walking away happy with the benefits of your offering. Here is the bottom line: you will never close 100% of your sales, and any attempt at just closing will cause you to fail. Let me quote from Tom Hopkins, author of How to Master the Art of Selling. Number 1. Champions never close people they know shouldn't be closed. Champions don't push people with warmth. They are sincere in their desire to help clients have better lives, more fun, save money, or whatever the benefit is that their product or service provides. Number 2. Champions look to only one person for their self-assurance, and that one person is themselves. Number 3. Champions know that they can't change the prevailing culture all by themselves. So, They float through life without being overwhelmed by problems they can't solve. Number 4. The top people close warmly. You may find that confusing, especially if you have any tendency to regard the profession of selling as essentially being the business of separating people from their money. One key factor in sales is qualification. Many spend most of their time talking to the wrong people. If you do that, it doesn't matter how eloquently you present your idea, service, or product. Your success is going to be low. Champions make sure that they invest their time with the right people who can make yes decisions, instead of expending it on the wrong people who can only make no decisions. And champions make money. Keep in mind that qualification means talking to the wrong people, in order to qualify, but not dwelling on them, or letting the wrong people keep you from finding the right people, the roadblock you have to maneuver around. This applies to all types of influential desire even outside a sales career. If you want something bad enough, you have to have options. That means instead of focusing on one thing and never giving up, sometimes you must move on to something that is more practical, maybe a compromise. This is a qualification of option, very similar to prospect qualification, but applies to cases where you have no luxury of multiple prospects. Sales representatives may have limited options, products, or services, whereas you do not. The point is to not waste time on just one opportunity. Best to have 10 balls in the air so that the impact of one of those balls hitting the ground is lessened with better odds of another coming through. The success of one ball should outweigh the pain of 9 drops. Let me get one word out of your vocabulary before any other one. The most destructive word in the English language is the word but. Hearing that word is an immediate killer of sales or influence. It has the same level of striking fear as touching a hot stove. The word, however, is a better word to use but still seeds fear. The phrase, at the same time, is a better way of embracing your idea without pulling the rug out from under the other person. The best word to use is and. Even though the discomfort of using the word makes you feel like you are disagreeing with your own position, it is a powerful way to pivot a conversation without the abrupt and visible sign that you are truly pivoting. It is not deceptive, it is simply continuing a conversation as the cheerleader on your prospect's opinions towards improving their lives with your product, idea, or service. This leads to a few of my favorite techniques directly from Tom Hopkins with listening intently and compassionately by asking questions. Yes, this is active listening, and at the same time, see what I did there, leading your prospect into answering yes. According to Tom, you ask questions to get the minor yeses that will start the stream of minor agreements that will swell into the major river of acceptance of your proposition. If you get enough minor yeses, it will be tough for buyers to change course and say no. Here they are as examples.
Having a class president that puts students first is important to you, isn't it?
Of course.
Don't you want someone that will strengthen our social events for students to enjoy being together?
Yeah, totally.
I see you enjoy social events. Having a president that understands the importance of social intelligence is ideal, wouldn't you agree? To provide students just like you something to do on weekends.
Not really. I wouldn't want to spend my weekends at school.
Me either, Sarah. How limiting that would be, wouldn't it?
Very limiting. I don't want to be at school if all possible. Are you really going to attempt to get students to come to school on weekends?
Would having off-school events be something you prefer?
Now that's something I can get behind.
Isn't it?
You bet.
Once I'm elected president, would you have places in mind for your off-school events? Tell me what you would like to see.
Pizza Paradise just down the street. I have plenty of friends that would love that.
The ballots will be available next Tuesday. Do you want me to bring you one before homeroom or after last period?
Before homeroom for sure. You've got my vote, Shao.
Now the examples we just gave you were condensed for demonstration purposes, however you do not want to overwhelm your prospect with nothing but questions. Rather sprinkle those questions through your natural conversation. Lastly, do not feel like you need to use every question type. When the time is right, go for the close. Do not talk yourself out of an opportunity by not gauging your prospect's willingness to simply move forward. Congratulations, you've made it this far. That shows your willingness to get out there and take control of your life. Next, I'm going to walk you through a process of selling. The first list I will provide you with are the Tom Hopkins 7 Basics of Sales, whether in the career or not, with one addition. You can think of these as phases in the sales process and can apply to everyday situations, not just for salespeople. Secondly, we will discuss FABs, homing in on the sales presentation itself. Later lessons will cover the others. Here are the 7 basics of sales. Number 1. Prospecting. This is getting out, getting on the phone, getting in front of as many people as possible, hopefully strategically. But don't get hung up on strategics, don't play that card until you learn from getting out there. Number 2. Making original contact as a professional. Read Tom's book on this one, but again, being a professional does not mean no rejection, in fact it means a great deal of it, and learning from it. Number 3. Qualification. This is the betting odds, play cards that will win, fold on opportunities never meant to be. Number 4. Presentation. We will go into detail next in this lesson. Number 5. Handling objections. This is getting into the pool of disagreement without drowning yourself or your prospect. Number 6. Closing the sale. This is getting to the goal of a happy customer walking away with the benefits of your product, idea, or service. Number 7. Referrals. This is networking. It is what Tom calls quality introductions. You can walk away without a sale but win a minor referral as a minimum takeaway. And with happy customers, a happy referral is not too much to ask them for your service. Number 8. Follow-up. I added this one because this one leads to closes, leads to multiple orders or repeat business, leads to friendships turn orders, or even more referrals. This also allows you to learn the life cycle of your product and challenges with continued service that your customer may not be receiving post-handoff. Prior to the exercise I'm about to show you, it is good practice to learn your product to memorization, and also learn your customer base, and your competitors. Learn your competitors' product and also the ways their product outshines yours, or the sweet features your competition's products have that capture customers. Again, later lessons will cover this. I'm moving on with presentation first because it's likely the next immediate step to utilize as a student. Now let us get into presentation with a simple exercise. This exercise is essential for sales, and you must do this regardless of whether you are in the career of sales or not. Let us learn about presentation by touching on a concept called an FAB, which stands for Number 1. Features, those aspects of your product, service, or idea with focus on the offering itself. Number 2. Advantages, focusing on how your offering is compared to alternatives, for example competitors, or the lack of owning the benefits of the offering. Number 3. Benefits, focusing on your prospect, and the personal and emotional benefits your offering will bring. Now notice how these 3 concepts tie into learning your product, your competitors, and your customer base. Even if you are selling an idea, you can benefit from these concepts. So, your first homework assignment above everything else is to work on a list of these bundles of 3s. The list should have no less than 10 items and then many more variations to match the climate of product, alternative/competitors, and customer. Professionals do this and keep the list up to date, fresh, and committed to memory. Let us start with a simple product that kids may desire to experience, the lemonade stand, our product lemonade. I will show an example with a skit of a young child, but we will jump right into presentation with a direct question from a prospect. Can you tell me about your lemonade? We will assume the prospecting, qualifying, and questioning techniques are out of the way and now time to jump into presenting.
I do like to stay healthy, so young lady, tell me about your lemonade.
Yes, ma'am. So our health-conscious variety is made with fresh lemons just like our others, but made with stevia, a natural sweetener. Unlike the packaged powdered lemonade you get at the store, which is oh so loaded with sugar, ours is made with healthy people like yourself in mind. And believe me, you want to have fluids in this heat. What that means for you, ma'am, is that you can stay hydrated as much as your body calls for without the worries of being unhealthy, along with the added benefits of vitamins from natural lemons, which is much needed for on-the-go lifestyles.
You've really thought this through. Get me 2 large cups then. I'm happy for your well-needed service.
Now who could resist an offer like that? Notice how the little lemonade entrepreneur guided the prospect to a happy close by addressing the prospect's immediate concerns about staying healthy. She showed a true desire through active listening and giving the prospect an option that worked for her. And the most important point, The girl first rigorously prepared and then practiced over and over until the words came across naturally. Never, ever wing it. Professionals do the upfront homework, then they practice continuously. Trying to pull off such fluency in your presentation is guaranteed to fail without doing the work. The top performers in sales know this and therefore prepare. Good luck in paving a new path to success.